example for convolution sum. Let x of n is equal to delta n plus 2 times del of n minus 1 minus del of n minus 3, and h of n is equal to 2 times del of n plus 1 plus 2 times del of n minus 1. Now compute and plot part A. y1 of n is equal to x of n convolved with h of n, and y2 of n is equal to x of n plus 2 times h of n. Okay. Now let us do the A part first. Now you can do this problem in two ways. Okay. So either you can use conventional method like convolution sum formula, and then change the independent variable then fold the sequence and then shift it and take this multiplication and then sum it. That is one method. Or you can use the properties of your impulse. When you multiply a function by an impulse, then you will get back the same function, but it is shifted either left or right depending on the argument of the arbitrary function x of n and the argument of del of n. So we have seen the properties in the previous lecture. Anyway, so now how does the x of n look? It is when n equals 0, its value is 1. When n equals minus 1, when n equals 1, it is 2. When n equals 3, then it is minus 1. Minus 1, 2 and 1. This is my x of n. You can verify. Okay. This one is delta n, and that one is 2 times del of n minus 1. This guy is minus del of n minus 3, and this point is 3, and this sorry it is located at so 1 2 and it is located at 3. Minus 1, so minus del of n minus 3. That's it. This is my x of n. Okay. Similarly, you can plot h of n also. H of n is n equals 1 and n equals minus 1, equally spaced. So let's say this is minus 1, 0, plus 1, and the strength is 2 times del of n minus 1, 2 times del of n plus 1. This is okay. This guy corresponds to 2 times del of n plus 1 shifted on the right, and this one is 2 times del of n minus 1. That's how this h of n looks like. Fine. Now let us use you can conventional method. Okay, you can take these two guys, x of n. From x of n to you can go to x of k, and h of n. H of n you can go to h of k. From h of k you fold the sequence, and then you shift the sequence h of n minus k, and then multiply x of k times h of n minus k, and then you sum them up, x of k, h of n minus k, and for different values of n you will get the output sequence. That is one method. Now let us not follow that method, we will follow something else like x of n is before that let us recall the property that we discussed in the last lecture. So x of n convolved with the u of n, which is x of n itself. X of n convolved with the u of this is delta n, delta n, this is delta n minus n naught, then this is going to be x of n minus n naught, or del of n minus n1 convolved with del of n minus n2, then this is going to be del of n minus n1 minus n2, like that. Just recall this property. Now x of n is equal to del of n plus 2 times del of n minus 1 minus del of n minus 3, and h of n is equal to 2 times del of n plus 1 times plus 2 times del of n minus 1. Now what is y of n? Y of n is equal to x of n convolved with h of n. What is x of n here? Del of n plus 2 times del of n minus 1 minus del of n minus 3. You convolved with 2 times del of n minus 1, n plus 1 plus 2 times del of n minus 1. Now term by term you convolve. So first you convolve with the del of n plus del of n minus 1, right? So now here the argument is n plus 0 and here the argument is n plus 1. If you add these two guys, then n plus 1 you will get it. So 2 times del of n plus 1, and then take del of n, convolve with this guy, again that is 2 times del of n minus 1. Now this guy convolve with that guy, here minus 1, there plus 1, so 2 plus 2 4, and it is del of n, here minus and here plus, that's why. And now take this del of n and do it here. So 2 times 2 4, now here also minus and there also minus, so n minus 2, 4 times del of n minus 2. Now take the third term. This third term is convolving with the first term in the second part. So there is a minus symbol, you put a minus, this minus symbol. So minus of delta, here minus 3, there plus 1, so del of n minus 2. So 2 is there, that 2 is this 2, and that 2 is here. Okay, then take this term and multiply here. So minus 2 times del of n minus 3 with the del of n minus 1. So it is 2 times del of n minus 4. This is the convolved output. Now summarize this. Now arrange this in the proper way. So 2 times del of n plus 1, then 4 times delta n, n minus 1, only one term n minus 1 here, so plus 2 times n minus 1, and here n minus 2, and here also n minus 2, plus 4 minus 2 plus 2, coefficient 2 of n minus 2, and then minus 2 times del of n minus 4. Like that also you can find out the convolution y of n by using the property of impulse function in the convolution sum formula. Now what is the B part? The B part says y2 of n is equal to x of n plus 2 convolved with h of n, right? Now again you can do this problem in two methods. Let me do it in the shortcut method. Like x of n plus 2, I can write as del of n plus 2 convolved with x of n, and this is x of n plus 2. Please recall your property. Okay, convolved with h of n. Now use the associative property. Del of n plus 2 convolved with, first you finish this convolution, x of n convolved with h of n, like this. Now this is we have already done in the A part, and which is this. Okay, just write down that. So del of n plus 2 convolved with the whole thing, your y of n. Okay, y1 of n, in fact this is y1 of n, right? y1 of n, y1 of n, yeah, it is here y1. Say this is y1 of n, so this is equal to y1 of n plus 2 by again the convolution property in the impulse function. So you take y1 of n and shift by n is replaced by 2 units. Your y1 of n is equal to 2 times del of n plus 1 plus 2 times del of n minus 1, or else let me so that I can write down straight away here. Therefore, one second. This is y2 of n. Sorry. y1 of n plus 2. Therefore, what is y1 is here, replace n by n plus 1. So y2 of n is equal to y1 of n plus 2. So wherever n is there, you replace by n plus 2. So 2 times del of this becomes n plus 2 now, n plus 3 plus 4 times this guy, 4 times del of n becomes del of n plus 2. Okay, and then this becomes n minus 1 plus 2 n plus 1. So that becomes 2 times del of n plus 1. Now what about this guy? That guy becomes plus 2 times del of 0. Okay, this term. Then what about this term? This term is going to be minus 2 times del of n minus 2. Simple, you can get it. Okay, so this is one method. There is one more method also, another method, that is y2 of n is equal to x of n plus 2 convolved with h of n. H of n is given. Then from x of n is given as del of n plus 2 times del of n minus 1 minus del of n minus 3. Then you find out x of n plus 2. X of n plus 2 is equal to del of n plus 2 plus 2 times del of n plus 2 minus 1 n plus 1 minus del of n minus 1. This is my x of 2, and h of n also given. What is h of n? 2 times del of n plus 1 plus 2 times h of n minus 1. Convolve these two guys, this and that, term by term you can convolve. Then also you will get the same answer, this one, same answer you will get back. Okay, so that's it. So let me stop at this point. Thank you very much.